All right, everybody, welcome to the podcast. It's me, your boy Party Marty, and the golden child herself, Yessie.
I look crazy, but don't mind me.
The star of my first episode is gonna be Yessie. She actually saved my life. I had nowhere to go, nowhere to stay, and I just want everybody to hear her story, how powerful it is, how powerful she is, and she needs to be heard because right now in the days, everyone's just moving so fast, and the world's becoming so evil, and I think it needs to be shined a light upon people who are actually really good Christians that are actually doing positive things, that actually not being heard through all of the negativity. So yeah, I just want to reintroduce you. We already started this episode earlier, but we're gonna start it over because, like she said, we're gonna do a fresh start, and we're doing a new beginning.
Christian, I'm spiritual.
We're spiritual. She's not Christian.
I don't claim no religious, but
I carry my cross
yes,
wherever I go. So
I do believe all religions have a. I believe there's only one God, but
you got a cross right here.
Yes, because there's only one God.
That's right.
But don't get it twisted. In every religion, there's something beautiful to learn.
I agree.
Connected with God.
I agree.
But there's only one God. But they split it up into generations, categorized, just like they did with girls and boys and sex and all that shit. They just categorize it, but it's just one.
Okay, that goes into my first segment. Me, I was abused as a child, and I feel like a lot of the world is so sexualized, and that's another reason why I wanted to kind of like shine a light on the negativity that's going on in our world. It's so much, everything's about sex, 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 and I feel like it's ruining people. A lot of people are addicted to that. A lot of people just worry about sex so much. Even like when I'm around some of my friends, all they want to talk about is sex and ass, and just I'm like, let's just have fun. Life should be about more fun, more joy, love, and healing. So yeah, Jessie, I want to introduce you to the world. She's going to be the star of my first episode of the podcast. Just introduce yourself a little bit here and tell them who you are and what you're at, what you're doing, and where you're going.
Oh, my bad. So my name is Yesenia, aka Golden. I call myself God's golden child for a reason, because I have a meaning for every letter in that word.
Hey, boo.
I believe that God uses me to be a healer for the ones that are miserable. I believe that God is using me to love, because the way that I love is very deep, and the way that people pretend to love is very fake. And it's become an ongoing thing of cycle generations, just destroying cycles, generations. And I'm sick of people that I love dying because of other sick people that fake love. And I don't think that's fair, because I think everyone deserves love. Everyone deserves happiness. Everyone deserves everything. No one should be selfish or pick or think their story or problem is more important than the other, because everybody's important to God. So the fact that you're sitting here thinking that you're more important than the other says enough about you. You got to do some shadow work, self-love, healing, and a lot more.
Ooh, I love that one.
That's it.
You see that why I love my bestie here? Because she's just all about education. We grew up together, and I was about high school when you were in, middle school?
Yep.
So
I was like a baby.
And she was always my baby sis. She would come into my room. We would watch
brother from another mother,
Power Rangers, and we just instantly had
Yu-Gi-Oh!
This part. Now let's talk about Winton Street and all the trauma, because I went through a lot on Winton Street. That's where.
How about you start, and then?
Okay, I started on Winton Street, so.
Yeah. Actually, my trauma started at 46 Corona Street, but I didn't know that whatever I went through in my first experience, that as a child I must have really shielded myself and gapped it out, because it came back that the age that I thought I was traumatized was actually younger than what I thought I was.
I was traumatized.
And so it started actually at 46 Corona Street and continued on into Whitney Street. That's how it got.
Well, I went through my trauma at 9 years old. I was, first of all, my family, we were all in one house. We had like 3 of my aunts and like 5 or 6 of my cousins. And I remember being a little kid and, going to my cousin's room and him just having his private parts out, jerking off. And then one day he had called me into the room and he forced me to have sex with him. It kind of changed my whole perspective, because I loved women. Like growing up, I was never into guys. And I think that kind of triggered maybe my bisexuality. And, you know, ever since then, I've been kind of like struggling with that part of my
Especially
my
when you take accountability.
Yeah, being a man and being a woman, like I'm bisexual. It's totally different, I'm sure, from a woman being bisexual.
No, it's not different.
It's something that you don't really talk about.
It's also
You're able to talk about that.
no, but I feel men put it like this. I got two boys and two girls. No, that is all manipulation. Boy, let me tell you something. A boy and a girl, okay, are just important. That's why they call it queens and kings. The thing is that we got queens that take over our little kings, and they become asshole. Mm-hmm. And then they become their little slitherers. Understand?
Okay.
And they get turned from good men into assholes because there's women that are gold diggers out there manipulating and using good men to their benefit advantage. Okay. So boys are just as important as girls' trauma. Okay? And I don't think any man or girl or boy or girl should be feeling like they can't express just because they're a boy. No, that's all. I feel like that's a front.
I said it to my, and I guess the dynamic is very different when it's family, and that was like really, really confusing for me because I didn't know how to tell anyone. I didn't really know how to tell my parents or anyone in my family just because it was somebody else in my family. And then, you know, growing up, I didn't know how to express those feelings. And when I did, I was quickly dismissed. And
or judged.
It kind of like, yeah, I mean, I was being judged a lot growing up. You know, a lot of people.
And you didn't deserve that.
I didn't deserve that.
When all you needed was somebody to hear you out.
Yes, that's all I wanted.
Listen to you.
Was someone to listen to me and understand who I am.
Yes.
Not just one little part of me, the whole part of me. And I think a lot in our world right now is lacking that empathy to feel what somebody else is feeling.
A lot of the world is lacking empathy, to be honest. It's a lot of it.
It's a lot.
A lot. More than you think.
Which brings me to a good part, the immigration. A lot of people in our country right now are, you know, coming down on the immigrants, people coming from Latin America, and my people, like my grandmother was an immigrant. Without her being able to come to America. I don't know whether she got here legally or not, but you know, immigrants, well, all immigrants, this country was stolen and taken a lot by outsiders. So who are we that say that one person's illegal and another person's not legal?
We're all God's creatures.
Right.
No one should be categorized. That is just Matrix wanting you to be categorized so that you feel some type of way.
Right.
It's all a fucking fucked up system that we all got in. That has to do way before our own, before birth of ourselves.
How do we break this system of just what they're telling us should be done and
put it like this: God's already doing His work with all His chosen ones.
Yes.
And we're gonna change the world already, and we already are little by little, and we just have to find our tribe. But because we're in that middle of a fight of a new world, chosen ones are being extra fucked with.
That's right.
Because there's a decision.
That's right.
Between good and bad.
That's right.
And when you're going through those types of decisions, especially when you're going through a spiritual awakening, you go through all types of emotions, and you go through all types of feelings, you go through all types of spiritual tactics, physical, mental, because the devil does not want you to know your gift. Right. And if you know who your gift is, you can help change the world, and he does not want that. So he uses all types of tactics to drain you. That's why I am drained now, because God is going to use me to change the world.
That's right.
Whether I'm alive or dead, it's a message.
You are so alive, Jesse. You have so much life in you. You know, growing up with you, you always had this fun energy about you. This funny, and I think you still have your funny energy, but it kind of changed into kind of like a little bit more serious with an undertone of funny.
It's because I'm still healing. But once I get through that, my last relationship healing, because it fucked me up a little bit, and it's like, I wouldn't say it fucked me up mentally, it's just it physically fucked me up in ways that I'm still analyzing, if that makes sense.
Okay, I get it. So tell me about, I think the story that everyone needs to hear is about your kids. I think that part of, and I think a lot of women are going through what you're going through with your kids and losing your kids. And that type of heartbreak and heartache, and men and women as well, because I know a lot of men, like my uncle, he's a single father as well, and my mom was a single mother, Tell us about that story, because I think that's the most important part of why I wanted you to be on this first episode.
Okay.
Because first of all, you're the most amazing person that I know in my life. You're the most fun, interesting. You're the first person I brought to me when I became management at my job. So tell me a little bit about that story about the kids, because I feel like...
So it started with Jaden and Giselle.
Okay.
At that moment, I used to date a girl named Jamari.
Mm-hmm.
I was very emotionally immature at the time, so I wasn't the best mother.
What happened with the daddy, though? Like, tell me about that part first.
So, with Jaden, I'm not gonna lie, I was raped.
Oh, sorry.
So Jaden is he's still a blessing. Don't get it twisted. He's very a blessing. He's
I
a
didn't
God's
know
gift.
that part.
Yeah, only Deontay knew.
What?
And that's why we created Giselle, and we made a deal that he knew that I was going through shit, and because he was going through shit, and we made a deal to have Giselle.
What?
So, and that he was gonna claim Jaden and Giselle, even though Jaden didn't look like him, he was gonna claim Jaden and Giselle no matter what nobody says, because he knows what really happened.
What?
I got
You
raped
never
by a
told
guy
me
named
so.
Jose in Rhode Island, and that's as far as I know. But I was also a minor, trying to run away from the pedophile that I was going through as a minor as well. So I got pedophiled and molested, trying to run away from pedophiles, and before you know it, it just came like a little cycle of craziness.
So you were trying to run away from a bad person and found another bad person.
Yeah, but the thing was, this person was way older than me, so he definitely...
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I woke up, I didn't even know how I got pregnant. I remember I did ask that guy when I got birth to Giselle, and I remember I asked that guy, and I think he knew what he did. Because I asked him, I said, yo, because I don't remember if we ever fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I remember I asked him, yo, did you ever come inside of me? This nigga Jose, because that's the only name I got, he was like, yeah, I come did you a bunch of times. At that moment, I'm like, damn, I don't even recall one. I don't even have a memory of one.
So tell me about why you ran away to Rhode Island and what made you go there?
Recently?
No, to that part before.
So at that time, I was getting molested by my stepfather's family. At the time, literally every like I would say I was getting molested by a lot of them. I forgive them, but they don't take accountability or.
I always knew Janito was weird.
Don't get me wrong. One thing I respect about Janito, though, I'm gonna keep it real, because I also learned a lot about pedophiles, and this is the thing why I like not to criticize Janito. And I'm gonna keep it real. Janito, yes, he did what he did to me when he was little. But you have to understand Janito's childhood trauma that he went through that drove him to do what he did. His mother was a prostitute. She was like having a lot of men in his side. So that drove Janito to go do drugs because he was watching his mom being fucked a lot. So that made him sick. And then his whole family was on drugs, heroin, crack, coke, you name it.
What?
So Janito became the demon of the drug that was doing it to me.
Not the demon, the product.
Yes.
Of that environment.
Yes. Janito is not bad. It was just the environment.
Me and him were cool for a while.
June is actually
the
good.
Only
It's his
reason
family
why I stopped chilling with him
is jealous of him or envy of him. And I think it has to do with the lady that is his wife today. Because a lot of people always question me, why do you talk to a nigga that touched you, right? But look how hypocritical it is, right? We have a family member named Tita Tita that everybody in the whole fucking world knew that Pedro did what he did to Rosie and Mede. But Pedro, to this day, won't admit that he did it. And it's because of my ex-boyfriend that saves his life that nobody comes at Pedro. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So one thing I respect about Janito is that he know what he did wrong. And he said it to me in my face. I am sorry for what I did to you. As a child.
I never got the apology. How did that feel?
He was the only one, though.
How did that feel? Did that heal you a bit? Because I never got an apology from my
abuser. At that moment, because I was still going through shit, I did forgive him. I'm not gonna lie.
That's so big
but
of you.
it was.
That shows how much heart and empathy that you have, and I love you for that, just for being able to forgive, and that shows how good of a person you are.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people couldn't do that, you know, and I dealt with the same thing too, because I actually hung out with my cousin. He ended up like living with us for a little while too. But tell me how. So okay, so then that's Jaden and JZL, and then you forgave him for all of that. And tell me how like everything happened with after that, like did you how long did you have the two boys for?
So to be honest, Jaden was probably like 1. Because I remember I put him in a daycare and I just bought a photo album with him sitting in a chair with the orange outfit that I bought him because I wanted a photo album of Jaden.
Okay.
Because he had blue eyes and I loved it.
Yes.
And then just Yo, I remember he was still kind of little, but he was like my fat boy. He was so fucking heavy for a baby, like, oh my God. And
your kids are so beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, they all humble.
And they're tall, and I think that's why a lot of big kids, when they're small, become tall. Some of them are just chunky. But so at what point did you leave Deontay? When did y'all break up?
I'm not gonna lie, I was like a little, not a player, but in the sense of playing. It was weird. I was being a player, but I was getting played on. So I kind of was doing the same thing they were doing to me.
Yeah, I can relate.
But you never knew when I was coming.
Mm-hmm.
You never knew when I was going to hurt you back.
Yeah.
It was kind of spiteful, but it was not a good thing.
So it was tit for tat, and then you ended up with Johnny?
No. So here's how it goes. When I went to Jermaine Lawrence, an all-girls program, I met a girl named Jennifer Catherine, and I forgot this other girl, because it was green hall, blue hall, yellow hall, some shit like that.
Okay.
Catherine was actually my first that actually got me out the closet.
Okay.
Was young. She was attracted to me, but she was a bitch. But that was her way of crushing on you. Okay. But I didn't know. I'm still kind of newbie on the whole lesbian at that moment. So at that moment, I remember I took my brother's clothes because I didn't want to dress like a girl in this place and I wanted to dress like a nigga. So I was loving the attention. I ain't even gonna front. I was young because it was my first.
It doesn't matter what you wear.
I ain't gonna front. It was my first experience of having like all these girls into me, like, and then they're fighting for me, and then they want to rock each other for me.
Well, look at my
it was wild.
She's beautiful. Look at her, and look at her kitty cat. This cat is so cute too. But look at my bestie. Who wouldn't want to get with her?
I look crazy right now.
No, she's beautiful. I can't zoom in right now, but I gotta see how bad she is. Okay, so then there's Jennifer or whatever, this place at the Lawrence place. Yeah. Jennifer Lawrence. And then, how did you even end up there?
So, at the time, I was running away a lot. So my mother...
I remember you ran away. You were gone for like 2 weeks.
I would run away like every other fucking week or every other... And then when I got tired and drained like the way I feel now, that's when I would come home. Because they used to suck trying to find me, respectfully.
Yeah, we were looking for you everywhere. Yeah. We were going down.
I used to watch y'all.
That was crazy moment. And I never realized what you were going through. And now looking back, I feel like, damn, I wish like you would have told me. Because I kind of had the feeling, I'm very intuitive. Like, I always get a feeling when something's wrong or something's good. So I'm sorry that
I'm not going to lie. The reason why it was kind of hard for me to express, because I'm not going to lie. You know my son, Jaziel? Mm-hmm. You see how he speaks right now? That's just temporary. I was that child. Mm-hmm. So while I was that child, I was doing a lot of this. And I didn't know what this was to be able to express and tell you, I did this. Yeah. You know, because I don't know what, you know, at that moment, I was being manipulated. Too, so. My mother used to work at Kohl's, so everybody used to tell me at the time that they were doing that to me was like, oh, if you want clothes from mommy, you got to do this. You know, it was a lot of rubbing balls and shit.
I remember that.
You got to do a lot of this.
Yes.
But I couldn't, I was just like, I couldn't, my tonsils, I used to have a lot of tonsil problems. So I couldn't talk. And when I would talk, I would drool a lot. So I couldn't express. I had expression problems.
Oh my God, Jessie.
At the time. So it was hard to tell. And then mommy was never home when it was happening. And by the time she got home, I'm gotta go to bed.
Because she used to come home at like 11, 12.
She used to come home
I
at
used to be in
midnight.
your house. You know what really pissed me
Midnight.
off about when and I don't want to keep rehashing Janito, but like he used to give you guys some type of pill, and then you guys were always like in the corner on punishment.
Oh,
That
yeah.
used to fucking piss
That was
me
that
off.
was to shut us
so
up.
bad. Yes.
That was to shut us up because let me tell you something. I don't have a mental problem.
No.
I'm a little hyper. That's why I smoke a lot of weed.
Mhm.
So that pill that they were giving me and my brother at the
What
time,
was that?
Ritalin,
Ritalin. Okay.
and it was making me boba, like
Mhm.
zombie,
Yeah.
I'm hungry, but I can't tell you I'm hungry, so I could just sit there and just feel the hunger, but I can't express it. So I couldn't help. To put it like this, the Ritalin was a lack of expression.
Okay.
So you boba, you are controlled by something that doesn't want you to express, basically.
That's another thing I really want to talk about because I'm on medication now for my epilepsy. You know, I went through a really bad depression where, you know, I really didn't know where to turn to and when to run. I went to a therapist who gave me this medication that ended up giving me a seizure. And it
Put it
did
like
kill
this.
me.
No hospital, no. Put it like this, you are your own best medicine.
Yeah.
All you need from the hospital is your blood work, and whatever is low, you buy it and you treat it yourself. Using smoothies, drinks, certain foods, you can heal yourself. But if you take any of those drugs that are in the hospital, because I used to work for the hospital. There's a lot of confidentiality that we have to do for the hospital, but the hospital doesn't really want to help you because you are a paycheck, honey.
That's true.
I'm gonna keep it real. You a paycheck.
The way they keep you on
Yeah.
the system.
So
and
whatever you
payroll.
allow them to do for you, you're just a bill that they want you to keep coming back so that they can get paid because that's an extra bonus check for them
That's
at the end of the
facts.
day. No hospital is your friend. They have so many shit that they can help you with, but if you ain't got this, you ain't shit,
Now
and
I'm
they're gonna
stuck on
give you the bare
medication.
minimum.
I'm stuck on medication for the rest of my life.
You
now.
don't need to be on medication. None of us need to be on medication. That is also a trick tactic to control us.
So you're off of it now. You're
I
on
don't
Ritalin?
need medicine.
You're done with the Ritalin.
Hell no. That was like a devil's tactic to keep my mouth shut from the people that are actually evil in this world.
Mm. Okay, let's get back to the main star of this story, and I think your story that everyone's gonna relate to is the kids.
So back to Jaden and Giselle, right? So the reason why I lost them, because I had an argument with my ex-girlfriend at the time. Giselle, I didn't know he was walking up to me while me and this bitch was arguing. Well, she's not a bitch, but at that moment she was the bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Giselle, she smacked like my cigarette somehow off my hand. Cause not that she hit me, arguing. So she just kind of like, yeah, and the cigarette flicked off and hit Giselle's face. I remember, but I was also emotionally immature at the time. Okay. So he was in a daycare in Rosendale at the time, and I brought him. Something told me don't, but because I was so fucked up with love, I used to love others more than I love myself at the time. The moment that I brought the boys in, something was telling me that was a wrong move. An hour after I brought them in, I get the call to come back in. When I come back in, there's like 7 people. I already knew. I already knew.
God, no way.
I already knew because I felt it. I felt it so quick.
Oh my God. And
the cops, they're not really hearing they don't really care why Giselle had that. They just are assuming I'm just, because of the way I look, because of the argument of how the projection of the way I looked, they just assumed that I was just like this bum on the street. A neglectful mother.
Those are your kids, and things happen. You know, I have a scar on my head from doing backflips when I was a kid. I've been in plenty of fights. Those are your kids, number one, period. They came from you, and you're obligated to make sure that they're okay, and they were okay. So I totally get that part, and you're totally validated in that part. You have your own life.
And that's what led them to be with my mom. When I was with mommy, I always wanted custody of them back. But growing up, mommy always told me that I could never get them back because If I do, I was gonna have DCF in my life.
What?
So me and her made an agreement, like, fuck it, because I don't want to deal with DCF for no fucking reason. I didn't know. But I'm also young. I could be easily manipulated because I didn't know shit at the time. So.
Do you think she was being honest in her assessment?
I felt like, put it like this. One thing I knew about Jaden and Giselle that everybody was telling me when I had them was that they can get SSI. But I never did the work about it, right? I never did it because I didn't care. Whatever my kids need, I was going to provide it. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I'm built like that. I'm that mother. You know, that's why when they're with me, I make sure they look good. So if we're going to go out, we all look good. Not just me. We all look good. Because my kids look cute.
You always look good.
So, what was I saying?
You were talking about your mom was
yeah,
telling
mommy
you
was
that...
telling me at the time that I can never get them back. So I was like, all right, I just accepted it for what it was. And I didn't know that I can get them back until like literally when I started dating Kuko.
Wow.
And then he told me that I could.
Do you think, and I'm not really sure, do you think that she was looking for a check from the kids?
I think that because the way everybody's grown up.
Because saying never is crazy. Never get your kids back.
My mom, don't get me wrong, my mom, I always grew up thinking that mommy was an innocent bystander. Because she was always at work being a mother supporting 6 kids.
She didn't know everything.
She never knew.
She didn't have the knowledge.
To this day, she never even got to the bottom of.
Because she wasn't there.
Exactly.
Like your story. And
obviously. Because everybody, not for nothing, everybody manipulated my mom to think that her daughter was crazy. So it didn't allow her to be able to see the truth because everybody already fucked up my mom's mind.
So that's why she thought you could never get them back.
Yeah, and she already.
But saying never is crazy. I feel like she could have said maybe it'll take a couple of years.
Her efforts were little. To be honest, for her mom, I think her efforts were just too little. And she had her own little benefits out of it because I have a stepsister who lost custody. Thank God, by the grace of God, that she has them back. But, you know, that little girl, Maya, that she was taking care of, my mom didn't even want to give that girl back. That was only supposed to be a temporary thing. And Cassandra had to fight. You know, this is my mom trying to keep, you know, what's supposed to be ours. Go, you made 6 kids. You're supposed to be a grandmother.
Right.
Play your role.
Exactly.
She always wanted to be number one. I go through it with all 4 of my kids. I got to do it, you know, like it's like I give kids for these little fuckers to have them.
Yeah.
But why?
Exactly.
Why?
It's like
when I'm a better mother that I know I could be because of what you allowed, I know I would never put my kids to go through because I give what I never had.
That's right.
So why would I harm or hurt or manipulate my own kids? Before I go, I want my kids to know everything in this world to fight for themselves, spiritually, mentally, physically, so that when God does take my life, my kids are prepared for anything and everything.
That's right.
No matter what the devil tactics come.
Do you think they're being prepared right now? Very
I
well?
believe that they're being manipulated, and I have to do a lot of prayer because when I get my kids back, I believe that they're good when they're with me. But when I bring them back to my mother's house, they're getting manipulated again. So everything that I healed them with, it's like being tampered with. So my kids are like going through what I went through, confusion. Because they, you know, kids are kids. They can be easily bought, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
But a grandmother's job is supposed to be, you're supposed to be a role model. And people forget to be role models for the kids. You know, people take advantage of kids because they're kids.
That's
Not
right.
realizing God gave us kids to birth, not for us to benefit from money.
That's right.
And that's what I see now today. Everybody want to birth and fucking get kids because money. It's such a sickening thing.
Yeah.
I swear.
Not me. I mean, obviously, like, I feel like for me, if I'm going to be with somebody, it should be for love. It should be for the long haul. And I think there's something to be said about loyalty and people just being honest and truth-telling. And there's a lack of a lot of honesty right now in our day and age. And it's very disheartening to me. And I think that's, I don't know, sometimes I feel like in this world, especially with social media and the glamorization of negativity, it's so, I don't know, that's not what I'm about and that's not what I stand for. So I try to stay away from like a lot of people. I keep only a couple people in my circle, people that I know are going to be beneficial. Not beneficial in like money or anything, but someone who can teach me things and bring positivity and bring something new to my life that I can learn from. And that's why I really love about you, because we relate in so many ways, and we're different in so many ways as well. But I've learned so much from you about just being real, being myself, being honest, being truthful. And that's something that I really respect about you. Next question. How are you finding healing? What are you doing for your healing?
I'm going to be honest. And a lot of people are not going to believe me, but I swear to God that I'm alive today because of my Aunt Lily and God.
That's right.
And what Lily revealed to me recently, and every day she has been with me in the spiritual realm with other angels that I know that are up there with her, like Grandpa. I feel all of them, and they all helped me because I'm not gonna lie, I was very close to being 6 feet under recently, and it was because the devil's tactics were draining my soul mentally, physically, and spiritually. And that's why I sound the way I sound now.
Yeah.
Because the devil wanted me dead. And it was either, put it like this, the devil's tactics of what he wanted was either I was going to get gang stalked, raped again, laced again.
I don't think so.
Or like, put it like this. What he put me through, he wanted me dead.
I felt that way. I've been there. I've
And
been in that space.
God was literally guiding me. I swear to God. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, people think I'm doing things looking like a crazy guy, right? But, for example, I'm going to just tell you a recent experience, right? Since last Friday of last week, right? Because my days are like all over the place. Mm-hmm. When I went to King's, that was the first day of my trauma experience of a spiritual awakening. I went by myself to King's bowling alley. Okay. Somehow I woke up in my car. When I tried to ignore, like for example, when I knew I was being taken advantage of, I was trying to just put myself like, fuck it. You know what? I already know. Been there, done that. Everyone's gonna think I'm going crazy. I got a fucking hickey on my neck, bruises all over my body. I don't even know how. So something told me, leave Boston. I swear to God, leave Boston. Because when I woke up hungry. So I was like, you know what? Since IHOP is around the corner, let me go get me IHOP. Coincidentally, IHOP was closed for service for me, but it was open. But my service for me was closed. I went back in the car, sat in there for a minute, started reading, journaling, talking to God. Then I was driven to just drive, go to Maine, right? Okay. When I'm going to Maine, my car shuts down on me on the highway. Oh, damn. That's and scary. I'm stuck on a dark road. I swear to God, it reminds me of like, you know the movie with The Rock Faster, where niggas are trying to kill a nigga, but in the highway all dark so no one can see or witness? No, well, that's what it was like, I swear to God, where I was stuck at. Okay. I have AAA. I'm a member. Same. We all know AAA. When I tell you to come, you just do your service and go on your mighty little way. And then an hour and a half later, you get to see them. On my phone, I dispatched them to come. My phone is telling me that they're 5 to 10 minutes away. Okay. They had me purposely sit there for an hour before someone showed up. Yeah, they did that to me too. When someone finally showed up, some young kid shows up trying to manipulate me and say, "Oh, you here for gas? Yeah. I need $20 if you want gas."
Yeah, they do that.
So I was like, $20. Something told me to tell the guy that I'm on the phone with dispatch and that he's being watched.
Oh, was it different? I thought it was so this wasn't a AAA person.
This was a dirty AAA person.
Oh, so they were working for AAA. But
They were working for AAA, but dispatch was dirty. So was AAA.
Yeah, they can be kind of janky.
Very. They were working together because they were tracking my location using my AAA app.
Oh, okay.
Right? So the kid, he's on the phone with somebody, and I guess they're telling him something to do to my car.
Okay.
He supposedly says that he put gas in my car. He finally takes off, but he's dissing me, not trying to give me service that he works for. Before you know it, he takes off. Whatever supposedly gas that he gave me, I was able to drive for another minute. And then boom, second time, I'm pulled over on a darker highway, but now further way out and only 45 minutes left to my destination.
Okay.
I called dispatch again. Another hour. Now here's another AAA coming, but now it's a dirty cop with a flashlight. I see with my car. Already treating me. Oh shit! I'm sorry, Lily. I'm so sorry. He's treating me like a criminal.
She blends in with the thing.
Yeah, he's treating me like a criminal.
Okay.
Right? Looking at my car with his flashlight. I already knew it was a cop.
Oh my
So he
God.
told me it was a cop, but it was a dirty cop that was working, connected to everybody that's trying to work against me.
Okay.
So put it like this, so I'm not gonna front. They had me wait like an hour. So within that hour, I faced bowled a blunt.
Okay.
So by the time that nigga AAA came, you know, he got smacked with a bunch of smoke in his face.
Okay.
So I already knew that he wanted to pull me over because of the smoking. But little did he know that you had me waiting a whole hour, knowing that I only have 45 minutes to my destination,
Right.
and you're not really trying to help me. You're trying to lock me up right before I get to my destination.
Mm.
At that moment, it's like 12:35. Okay?
Oh, shit.
12:35.
And your brand new BMW.
Mind you, I just bought it, and I haven't had it for 3 months, and there's so much shit wrong with that car that I don't even want it yet. Because I think the people that I bought it from did it dirty. I don't know, but I will find out later.
Mm.
But anyway, so that guy who does this puts gas in my car.
Nice. Okay. So we're getting gas now.
Now we're getting gas. But here's the thing. The supposed AAA is not taking off. So he's just sitting behind me with his lights on, waiting for me to take off so he could just call dispatch and say, pull her over.
Right.
Something told me, shut off your car, sit down, and start writing, journal. Read the Bible, journal, write. And I played his game. I swear to God, I took my stickers off. I went like that. I was like, okay, two can play that game because while you playing checkers, I'm playing chess, and God is already telling me what you're doing. So I get in my car. This is me in my car because I already know this nigga wasn't gonna leave, and it was a setup again.
Right.
But God is telling me, don't take off. Shut off your car. Stay in the car. Journal, read, meditate, do what you do.
Okay.
Don't leave until he leaves.
Right.
He waited, put it like this. At that moment, it went from 45 to now 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it always
Right?
does.
So now I got 35 minutes to my destination.
Okay.
The guy decides to wait till like 1 something to finally take off. So at that point, I was very drained because I've been dealing with shit like literally 24 hours without food, without sleep,
Okay.
without proper sleep. And I also probably got molested and I didn't even know how, with hickeys and
At that
marks.
place?
No, before of what started me to go out of Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Because I woke up with my clothes open, hickey right here, clothes open, this open, this open.
What?
And it's sunset. I'm in the plaza. So God only knows who probably saw me. They probably got a
Yeah.
fucking video out there. You know, probably made it look like that I was just a drunk.
Yeah.
But they know what they did.
Yeah.
So from
you gotta
that
be
moment,
careful. You know, my grandmother always said, "Don't leave your drink down."
Facts.
Because people be fucking trying to slip a Mickey in your
Put
drink.
it like this: I was alone, so I always know my limit. When I'm alone, I don't overdo it.
Yeah.
If I don't got no one to take care of me, I ain't boo boo the fool.
Right.
I may have a big forehead, but it don't say moron. You know what I mean?
It says queen.
Yeah, thank you.
That's right.
So that guy, he didn't leave for another hour, purposely. I swear to God.
What?
I even took a little kitty nap because I was so drained for like 10 minutes.
That's annoying.
And so he took off. Mind you, he got his lights at my car the whole time. I finally get to the Airbnb. I spent money. It's supposed to be a clean Airbnb.
Okay.
I spent money for a clean Airbnb. When I go there, there's poop stained on the fucking, like a clock. It's poop. And some blue paste on the toilet.
Oh.
And then there's like shit in the Airbnb. But because I was so drained from the night that I had pertaining to the night of what drove me to Airbnb, I was so drained and hungry that I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me just watch a movie, order me some Domino's, and go to sleep. Because the guy, I got there at midnight. The guy that I bought the Airbnb from wanted me to leave at 7 in the morning.
What?
Knowing that he saw me coming at midnight, and I'm telling him that the reason why I was late is because I've been going through shit. Come to find out, the guy that's working in Airbnb is also dirty.
Oh, damn.
They're all benefiting from the money.
Yeah.
So, before you know it,
Trying to come up.
Yeah. I go to sleep. The next day, there was a key that I was supposed to leave there. God told me to bring it. I swear to God, take it with me. Today, no. When I was in Attleboro, I figured out why that key. And how it led to Jonathan's. Put it like this, my brother's wife now, baby to be, his wife, his lady, her spirit dad was talking to me.
Wow.
And this goes back to generations because I am the piece of the puzzle that is connected for everybody's trauma that has to go way before I was born.
Yep, that's right.
And Lily showed me that she sacrificed herself, but she made a promise.
Okay.
And God. And my aunt is not suffering the way everybody was saying, oh, because she took her life, that she's in hell. Because that's what a lot of people were telling me, that my aunt was in hell. So that fucked me up. And then my aunt, in the spiritual form, because she knew I was crying and suffering, and no one knew what I was going through behind closed doors. So that's how I know God is with me in so many ways. Because the way he's talking to me, that only me, him, and the people that's up there should be able to know.
That's right. I know that's right.
So, my aunt revealed everything, like literally everything to me. And whatever she had, she passed it down to me, her gift. And my aunt was also spiritual. She wasn't scary. And all the scars that she had were actually warrior scars of every battlefield that she had because the family that we grew up on the Rivera side, they're very dismissive. So when you're overwhelmed or drained, the way I was drained, and no one's hearing you out or listening, it will drive you to kill yourself in ways that you're just not being heard. And sometimes you just get tired of being called crazy. And it makes you feel like you're not loved.
Okay, let's switch the topic a little
Yeah.
bit. How are you gonna be avoiding these dangerous habits of getting to that cycle of like, okay,
because how would I explain it? I know where I was wrong. I know why I went through what I went through.
Okay.
And because I have endured everything and kept my mouth shut for so long and caught something because of that,
Okay.
I don't want anyone after me to be going through what I went through.
Okay.
So my job is to help everybody before I go.
Okay. Good.
Because I feel it, and I don't know when, because God just guides me, tells me to do things in His way, and then He fucking doesn't tell me everything, but I always know later.
Yes.
It's weird, but it is a fucking adrenaline, fun journey that I love.
Yes.
I ain't gonna front. It's beautiful,
Okay.
and anybody that doesn't believe it is because they're not for you, and that's not your tribe, and God don't want you to bring those people with you. Period. Because anybody that doubts you, that's not of God.
That's right. That's right.
And God don't want you with whatever God got for you. They're not meant to share whatever blessings I have, because only God knows the heart I have. Why everybody projected the type of heart they thought I had.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Because they weren't listening. They didn't take the time to
Or they
understand.
didn't care enough.
Yeah.
They lacked it.
A lot of people don't take the time to get to know people as well as they should or can. And I know everyone goes through their own things, and we're all living in our own little bubble, and we've all got our issues and our I think I left my lighter in here. Right here.
I could have sworn I had it. It was green.
Yeah.
I totally forgot.
1 second. All right, we gotta pause.